Welcome back to another stream. We're taking some trades on gold, as you can see real quick. We're taking some other trades on gold. That is where we currently stand with the position. But I'm going to break everything down just... Why do we... But I'm going to break everything down just... Wait. Do we have it better there? I think we do. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect. Alright, so, sorry for the little technical issues there, but we are in a trade here for gold, and I'm just going to break it down real quick. We're already live on TikTok. Been live on TikTok. If you're not already following me on TikTok, I don't really promote it as much. It's just all personal shit there, but go to the Pip Academy. Same thing as it is on Instagram. Same thing as it basically is here on YouTube. And tap in because I do go live there. And I go live there more than I am here. So we get to touching on these trades a little easier, a little better. Let me put the trade that we have back up. Oh, okay, I get this issue now. But we're in a position on gold. We took this a little bit ago. I'm going to break this down and just show what was in the Discord when we sent this trade. There were a few other trades taken this week. None of them really the best. But today is Thursday. We're seeing this amazing setup on gold. So we're taking this setup. We're up a few hundred points right now. I think it's about 200 points, 217. I have my stop loss set in. This is not the stop loss. I'm not taking a risk one for one trade. I would never do that. Not in my conscious mind. But this, I'm going to put this as to what it should be. If I could just pull up the Discord real quick. So this is the latest setup. I'm currently just waiting. I want to put more on this position just because I think this position is just an amazing opportunity to take. This is gold has been breaking all-time highs. Last year, gold did like 50%. Okay? Last year, gold did like 50%. So this year, I still expect gold to do way more. Compounding interest on the inflation, the fact that America and Canada and all these other countries still plan to give out bare money to their citizens, which seems really good, but at the end of the day, this is not beneficial for the value of money. I think the money has to be made in other ways that is not just given out. It's going to cause things like gold, silver, copper, like I did on the first video of the year. These valuable commodities are going to keep rising simply because these countries are printing cash in high amounts. And they're not collecting the money back. Or they're not collecting the money back at a rate that is profitable. But this is basically the setup that we have here. I took this position and our stop loss is just basically at the swing low of the move that we're having, and we're looking for price to swing to the upside, as it currently is happening now. We're almost up 300 points on gold at the moment. And so, marvelous play. This is in the Discord like I showed, and we're taking a small risk of 0.58% on this. The stop loss, obviously, we're not taking a stop loss of 2,629 pips. So this is going to, I do need to fix that little adjustment there, but you can see for other ones. I'll go into the other trades I took. I took maybe 3 trades earlier. We took a trade on GU or GJ, and that one didn't hit our target, hit our stop loss, but our stop loss had already been moving to break even. We had already secured that position, so just marvelous play. But yeah, this is today's date. This is the trade that we're looking at. And if we can compare what this looks at, so this is the 1 hour time frame, and we took this, what does it say? 10:18. Current time is 10:54. So it's a little bit of time has passed. If we go to the 1 hour, which we're on, we're still in that time, in that candle. So we still have another 6 minutes before we get to the next. And we'll be back. We're back at all-time highs, essentially. This is our 3rd tap in, 4th tap in, depending on what you want, how you want to look at it. And this is its 2nd day back at all-time highs. Gold is performing phenomenally. We have our resistance there, which we're looking for price to break through. I don't have a set target on this, but obviously there are some areas of interest that I do have that I just target in situations like this where I don't have a resistance level as a target. So I always try to risk a minimum of risk 1 to gain 3. So that way I have an edge in that case as well. Even if my win rate were to drop 50%, 40%, I can still make money risking $1 to gain 3 on every position. So we have this, and our stop loss is not at the swing candle low, but just at the last body. And this is risk 1 to gain 5. There's no information to the left, so there's nothing we can compare this to. There's nothing that we can analyze this to. There is the Fibonacci, which we can do swing high to swing low in this case to try to see where our extreme levels above are, places where price might try to slow down a bit. But I generally only use this, as you know, I use the Fibonacci. I use this in the direction of the main trend. So I would only look for these going bullish, because gold has only been bullish for the longest time. Let me fix this. Gold has only been bullish for the longest time. So we're looking to see that bullish momentum continue all throughout the year. I can't stress that enough. Copper, silver, gold, aluminum, all these shit are going up. And you just may miss the opportunity. I'm sure there's a lot of people getting into investing now. There's a lot of people only just learning about this stuff now. But learn and take action. Learning is pointless if you do not take action. The proper result of learning is action. If you learn and you don't take action, you didn't learn well enough. It's as simple as that. But this is basically the position. I'll go into some of the other ones. We tried to take some trades on this. This is not a trade I took, but I was thinking about taking this trade. I took the trade around here for something like this, and I got stopped out originally. The price came back, liquefied the previous swing low, right? As we know that it does. But the market came through in this case here. This is a standard retest. We had one liquefying move there. Price tried to go up, and that's the move that I tried to take it on. Price came back down and pulled some more stop losses of two other relevant zones. The swing low that I tried to enter on and the swing low previously. So the market liquefied those areas and then decided to go on a slight consolidation, but overall moving back towards those resistances. At this point in time, when we did come up to this area here, I did move my stop loss to break even, or not break even. I covered about 20 something pips, but let's show that now. Where is it at? So this is gold opening. This is the two trades that we had. So we took a trade on GJ, which closed, hit our stop loss for 31 pips, and we had our take profit hit on GU for 22 pips, call it. You can see the P&L, so you can see what I'm risking. I recently just funded another account and the leverage is all messed up, so I need to fix the leverage. That's why this gold position is also really low. This gold position, well, you can see it there. It's, well, you can't see it there, but if you can do the math, it's a 0.2 position, 0.02 position. I think my leverage is at like 1 to 2 or 1 to 1, something like that. So that's something I need to go through and adjust. But to go to the setups of these, so here we have the GJ setup, which we were able to take 0.10 on. GJ, let me double check something. It's just became 11 o'clock. We're still having our countdown. Amazing. So let's break this down real quick. Here's our original GJ open, and we just have the rejection. It's better if I go to the next picture. We can see, I'm not sure why these images are so blurry, why it's loading, but we have some market structure high, higher highs, lower lows, sorry, higher highs, higher lows are being made in the market. We have a period of consolidation, a slight pullback of these areas. EK, welcome to the chat. I think your thing probably popped up. I didn't see it in there though. But this was one of the positions, and that was ultimately the setup. We have a rejection. This candle here, this what would be a red candle, the black candle, did form a slightly newer low, liquefying any positions below, any bullish positions below that. And here we have our bullish rejection. So we end up taking that trade just about on the 30-minute candle close, and we look to push that up. And obviously our position gets liquidated. Where is GJ? So we see 2 candles later, so 2 hours later, price comes and hits our stop loss. Fine. These things happen. These things don't sway me and should not sway you. These things happen. You need to manage the money well enough so that you can take losses and not be out the game. If you take a loss and you cut out the game, you're not made for the game. That's just how that goes. Here was our position, and I think I did this on stream. If I remember correctly, I was probably on stream when I did this. But here we have our GU trade. You can see the setup. It's more understandable when I have the stop loss in. But we can see this is placed at 12:11 a.m. right before the London session comes online, a few hours before. And we end up taking this trade with a stop loss of 14.2 pips, and we risk just under 0.1%. This is the setup that we have, and we look to target it long. So if we see when this is still the same time that I ended up placing the trade, and this was the modification. So price already went up into that resistance area that we had plotted out on this. Price already came up to that resistance area and tapped it. From it tapped it, I'm like, okay, that's all good. I still see higher prices coming, but I do want to cover my position. I don't want to have just wasted time in this. I'm not trying to invest in this currency, which is basically going sideways on a yearly spectrum or the last 10 years, 5 years. You know, like major things happen, but it all moves within range. This is not Bitcoin, or this is not what's happening on gold right now. Gold is pushing. Gold is pushing, and this is too. We just ultimately missed our re-entry opportunity. We took an initial entry on the first liquefying move, and the second one occurred. So just keep in mind, the market is trying to trick a majority of the people. These liquidating moves are essential to understanding that average things happen, and then there is an exceptional move. There is a wow factor. There is something that most people don't predict that causes great loss. Just be mindful that these things happen in life and in the markets, and how are you going to use that information to your advantage. Look for these liquidating moments and trade in the direction of the higher trend. Plot out your support and resistances so that you could see what the average man is thinking. Plot out support and resistances so you can see what the average man is thinking. And then generally you just want to wait for the average man to lose. There is some liquidating factor, right? Everybody buys at support, but life is a little messier than just buying at the support. Understand? Buy at the support, it's a little rocky. Price might dip a little lower, knock everyone's stop losses out, continue up to the upside. Be able to last. It's essential information. But nonetheless, this is one of the positions that we're in. And I think the next updated picture would be the stop loss getting hit. Not this one. And then what's the time period apart? So the GJ trade closed at 2:45 and 4:41 a.m. This one updated. We're in this trade for 2 days, 4 hours. Came back, hit our stop loss, which is fine. We covered 22 pips. And it gives the reasoning for everything, comments, everything. But this is the new thing. Let's take a look at where gold is right now. Gold is just sitting at the resistance. This may take a few hours. It's still 11 a.m. Lunch is just about to happen. And so we're looking to carry this over into the new day. We're looking to hold this just about till the end of Friday. I don't really see... Yeah, really to the end of Friday. And I'll determine where we are. But gold for the last 13 months, 14 months, gold has been going up. You don't need the whole piece of the pie. You don't need everything, but you can grab a small portion of it. We are about... What was the exact stop loss that I had in here? Just so I can get this right. We have 48.16. 48.16. Let's just type it in here. Ticks. Looks like my thing is in ticks and not dollars. I think I said 48.16. 97. 48.16.97. And to have our entry right, I'll just copy this actually. Boom. This is our exact thing. So we're currently up about 1.6 R. Not bad. I'll wait another hour. What portion? What portion are you talking about? Yeah, I'd wait another hour. I want to see a break of this resistance, though. That doesn't. It's not a definitive move. The market is going to be a tricky thing. So a lot of times we can get break of resistances like this, and a lot of people would think, okay, it broke the resistance. It's going to continue up. But the market is just not that simple, not that easy. It's very complex. It is set to try to trick a majority of the people most of the time. So you'll have things like that break of resistance. Price will dip back below. It may consolidate there for a short period, but it's going to do something to cause indecision in your mind and have you doubt your position. It's going to have the new people, the inexperienced people, the people who can't perform, doubting themselves. People who know the game and know that shit's rough is going to be able to survive these situations and make money. It's more of a mental game than anything. Take proper risks. What do I think about Euro odd? You missed the short setup on it. I seen that the GA and EA were falling. I seen this. What time frame are we on? Yeah, the weekly's crashing. The weekly's crashing, and today's Thursday, so there's only about 1 day left. I think it looks like the last 2, 4, 5 days, including today, are incredibly bearish. We're actually breaking some new lows in the structure. I'll just mark this out. We have some structure point there, and we have some other structure here. But I would say we can keep dipping below at least until 170.50. At that point, I would more so consider how price is reacting to that level. And look, things are not always clean in the market. It's not going to give a perfect rejection. Is that? Yeah, it won't give a perfect rejection. It'll be rocky. It'll be a little iffy. It'll make a lot of people think, oh, should I buy here? Should I sell here? Should I buy here? Should I sell here? Meanwhile, you just need to keep the higher trend in mind. Don't worry if you lose and all that extra shit. Focus on what's important. Trading your plan, keeping aware of the higher time frame, all that stuff. Daily, we're breaking new lows. I would wait for some type of retest from this. I would wait for some type of retest from this because price is trending. What I tend to wait for is that liquefying moment, like I just went over a ton of. That liquefying moment. I don't want to take a move when when the lower time frame is in trend. Sure, the higher time frame should be in trend, right? But we're using the lower time frames to grab pieces, bite-sized pieces of the overall move. And so I normally explain that the market goes through 2 phases. It has times when it's has a lot of direction, when it's trending, and the other times when the market is consolidating, moving left to right. So this point in time, which we can see the market is trending down. We're currently breaking structure lows. We are coming off of some type of consolidation. Push, consolidation, push, consolidation. The market is constantly collecting orders, taking money from people, right? Making confusing scenarios. Appreciate that. So, given that the market is now in this pushing phase, I would like to see some type of consolidation. I would like to see the market stop pushing down, essentially. Let's maybe come back up to these areas. And even if we did come back to this area, you could see how that can cause a lot of confusion for people, given that we are, let me change the color of this. Given that we are pushing below, a lot of people may not be aware, just thinking about the overall market structure, that there's different market structure, different time frames. But these levels, 4 hours as well. How much do you need to start from scratch? I'd always recommend going with something very small. Start with $10 to $20. Go with something small, because it's very important. A lot of people would say just demo your trades, like completely demo them. And I don't think this is a good fit, simply because your emotions are highly involved when you're trading. And the plan of what you know you should do goes completely out of the window when you are not emotionally prepared for the situation. It's very important that you put some real money in so you can feel what's happening. If you do a demo account, you won't understand psychologically what is happening. You're missing a large portion of the game by not putting real money on the line. The kid who sits on the sidelines and just watches is learning far less than the person in the game playing. How long does it take to start to open a broker? If you go to my website, there's the broker that I recommend there, and it's easy to get done. You can get it done 5 minutes. Very easy. They have simplified the process. Trader's Way. But yeah, a lot of people will say demo, and I don't think demoing gives the right picture for what you're trying to do. And like, sure, even if you just see the memes and all that other type of stuff online, so many people can be successful demo trading. It is far easier demo trading and being successful, because then once you actually put real money on the line and you're running the same method and now you're taking consistent losses, what's the difference? The difference is you. The difference is your emotional state. You didn't care about that demo account, but you're going to care about the money. You're going to watch every dollar. It's your hard-earned money. I don't want to go on this tangent again, but there's other videos where I break down the emotional state that you go through and like why this is important and key information that needs to be in your consideration. One other thing is like knowing your numbers. You must know the numbers of your strategy. How much are you likely to lose? Whether that is trades, whether that is risk to reward, whether like you have to consider the risk and make sure the risk is in your favor. It must be in your favor. What time do you start and what time do you end? There is no like start time and end time. There are some times that people prefer the most, like what's called the London session or the New York session. London is about, it depends where you are, but if you're in Canada, which I'm going to think you are, it's about 3 a.m. is when London is hitting 9 a.m., right? So the major centers around the world have 9 to 5. So 9 to 5, your place in New York basically goes same 9 to 5 as me. But that's when the market is open for you. The New York Stock Exchange, that is like the market. That's not the Forex market, but it's a smaller market that contributes. And so all the major centers around the world, they operate on 9 to 5, and because of that, the market is able to go for 24 hours Monday to Friday. Give this knowledge, you're a blessing. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Gold is still going up. I expect this resistance to get broken through. But at the end of the day, I'm not really like, I know not to make a move just based on, what I'm thinking. Like, I just wait for the candles to do its thing, and I read the candles. I can see the momentum shift. I acknowledge the trend of the higher time frame and the confusion of the lower time frames. Go to my website, thepipacademy.com. And I give the general basis for all of this. I give the detail. Everything I do, I put there. I've been doing this for like 11 years. 11 years, 10 years. I started maybe like 2014, 2015, sometime around then. But I know you can't see my screen here. But if you're on YouTube, you can see the screen. Gold is doing its thing. Gold is being amazing. You can see the thing there. And these accounts, like this right here is the master account. So this here is a account that I'm running very small risk. You can see that I risk less than 1% for each position. And so these are copied onto another computer and everyone else's computer that's in the auto trader system. So these trades are copied over. But this is also sent to the Discord, as you've seen. And so we're going to be able to, where's 2R? Let's see where 2R is. 2R is right here. Let me put a line. At this point, I would go through and move my stop loss. I'll cover a little. One thing, like I always mention, so you have those push and pull phases of the market. The last 1 hour candle was a strong push back up to the resistance, right? There is a likelihood, like I always keep it in mind, that the market can retrace a significant amount just to cause a lot of losers, people who might have bought just because of that big push back up to the resistance, right? But I got in before that, keeping the higher trend in mind. And so we're looking to push this up. The news, I haven't been paying attention to the news at all. Have I seen stuff online? Sure. But when it comes to the Forex news, I don't pay attention to these. I just read candlesticks. Candlesticks, key levels, areas of interest, psychological levels, like not psychological levels as in the zeros and 50s. I think that's totally basic. I think psychological levels as where price has been before and what did it do the last time it was in that position. Good example, BlackBerry. Or, good example, GameStop. That GameStop run was phenomenal, but it showed that the industry is heavily manipulated. They can keep a ton of money. Like in this situation here, if this resistance were to just hold for the next 20 years, let's say, it would basically show that there's a lot of money sitting on top and price cannot break above. There is not enough supporting price to defeat the resistance price. And you came through. So we're about to hit 2R. We're $20 from 2R. And we'll be able to cover this position very slightly. Let's see what the lower time frame. I'm on the 1 hour. $2R. Once we hit that 2R level, hopefully we can close above the resistance and it's just not the system made me evil. I know, you always pop up. You always pop up. Appreciate that. Yeah, like I was saying, so this, once we hit that red line, the level of 2R, then I would like for price to at least close above the resistance. If we can get that, we can now have this previous resistance, what would be previous resistance, now acting as support. And we can try to use that level. And like I said, it could be rocky, right? So if we can successfully get a break above this level, we can always get a retest of this level. And who really knows how deep price would go if we would maybe go back below this level, trigger a lot of people into thinking this is a seller's move before the trend continues. Always going with the higher time frame trend. But I like to take it step by step and swing by swing specifically, because each swing gives you a good indication for what the next swing is going to be like. Now you can't get every swing exact, but you can have a higher time frame and a lower time frame. And you can pair both trend directions in sync, keeping in mind that there's a push phase and there's a consolidation phase, whether it's pushing up or it's pushing down. It goes through one and consolidates. But we got 33 minutes left in this hour. Gold is back at all-time highs. We will get an update on this on the next live stream. We'll touch and see what actually happened to this trade. Who knows, maybe after the live stream's over, price dumps. I would have liked to have taken one like this. This would have been a good setup to take a re-entry on. Missed it. Life. This, yeah, we did go long. I think it was yesterday on this. So we went long around here. Something like this. And we did 14 pips. I think it was like this. Something like that. But this one would have been good for re-entry as well. A good way to look at it is if you just mark up the swing lows and you're just waiting for price to dip through those swing lows, trigger a bunch of buy stop orders like mine before price continues up. I mainly just look at the pound pairs, the USD pairs, and gold and silver have been on my list ever since. Gold, this was the beginning of the year. Okay, first live stream I did, we broke this down, that gold is going to continue up. Gold at that point in time went from $79 to now $95. Gold don't plan on sleeping. Sorry, silver. Silver don't plan on sleeping either. None of them. Gold's almost up 1% for the day. But yeah, I think that's all there really is to touch on. We will see what this trade does in the next stream. We'll see the actual result, just like we've seen how that GU trade ended up hitting its stop loss. We made 21 pips. So we'll touch back on the next stream. Appreciate you guys for coming by.